All right, all right. We're ready for it. Okay. Hey, welcome to Work San Jose. We're over here in the share room tonight, just because we have a very full show right now over in the gallery, which is open to see. There's my sometimes rude to people dog there at the moment. She's under the control of my wife, who's not super rude, but anyways, afterwards too, you're welcome to come down and chat in the gallery as well, or just go and see. We've got 104 artists up in our member exhibition, so that's why we're here, because it's just too much to move out of the way to do this, to get room for an audience. And tomorrow we've got Flash Fiction Forum as well, and that's in collaboration with another book release. And so looking for a nice couple of big events here in this room over the next couple of days. So by the way, I'm Joe. I'm the president of the board here at Works. Right in the back is Amy, who's our vice president over there, and helping, yeah, helping to set up a little bit earlier, putting out all of the foodstuffs was Danny, who I think is down in the gallery now as well. So anyways, thanks for coming out. We're an all volunteer organization, which is the same with Poetry Center San Jose. So I appreciate all of the support. There are folks here who I know are members of Works, including Rob, our host for the evening, our MC for the evening over there. Yeah. and what's coming up? We've got another large show coming up in collaboration. There's Danny. Um, we have another show coming up in collaboration next with Gen Arts, Silicon Valley, that's going to have probably between 40 and 50 curated artists. The one that's up right now is an open call show, so it's non-juried, but still, like our non-juried shows are always of pretty shockingly great quality for not having any juror, not having any gatekeeper on them at all. So long as the stuff is safe, it's not going to cut people if you run into it or something like that. So after that, then oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the title of the show, but it's about what's it? What's it? No, the net after. At, right, overtime. That's the one with Gen Arts. And then the one that's about being housed or not is called, it's guest curated by Valerie Mendoza, wonderful professor emeritus from San Jose State. And yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And yeah, come out and see that. And then we'll have an open call show in the first of the year. We'll also be opening Afterlife, a celebration of life and remembrance at Mexican Heritage Plaza in October as well. So lots to come and check out. Follow us on Instagram, just at Work San Jose, all one word. You can go to worksSJ.org, and that'll actually bring you over to worksanjose.org if you don't want to type that much. Then you can see there. If you want to donate to help with all of the costs of these things, we get a great deal on renting these rooms for just one night. We rent, of course, our space in the gallery all the time, like 24/7, 365. But we can get a room like this for just between for 240. Okay, yeah, Amy knows. Yeah, Amy, $240 for tonight, plus $240 again for tomorrow night. But if you want to help with that, and PCSJ's costs as well, and we pay into the curation of this set of programs here with Well Read, and then Rob and Poetry Center brings in a bunch of snacks, and we bring in some liquids and that sort of thing. So if you'd like to support that, then we've got a little donation box and our little code for Venmo over in the gallery, or you just go sometime to workssj.org and click the little donate button, and you can do that. So thanks for those who support. I'm going to give to you now. He's standing. He's walking over. He's the president of Poetry Center San Jose. He's Mr. in the white shirt and white t-shirt, black hat, Mr. Rob Passage.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Works. Thanks, people. We are also a volunteer driven organization. And before we start the program, I'd like to start with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that Poetry Center San Jose and the city of San Jose exists on the unceded land of the Muwekma, and we recognize their right to this land, which they have stewarded throughout generations. We acknowledge that members of the San Jose community and residents of California and the United States continue to benefit from the use and occupation of indigenous land. Acknowledge that this land has come under the control of various entities through genocide and dishonesty, and we recognize the history and legacy of colonialism that continues to negatively impact indigenous peoples, their traditional territories, practices, languages, lifeways, and well-being to this day. Now for a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay. Had a bunch of medical appointments to confirm a bunch of stuff. One is which I need new glasses. But not a hearing aid, not yet. Yeah. So- well, I got cicadas all the time. There's a lot sometimes, and there's just a little bit sometimes. Tonight's just a little bit. Yeah, yeah. I got nodding. Yeah. Sometimes they wake me up at night. Jesus Christ! Well, it's a party in my brain. Not enough lithium in the planet for my brains. Okay. So, Poetry Center San Jose is member-supported organization, just like Works, and we rely on donations. We rely on support from all of you, as volunteers, as board members, to make this operation go. And so, we really appreciate everything that you do. And you can visit us at pcsj.org. Am I too loud? Oh, I see. Okay. Well, this this thing is gonna like shine. Okay. Yes. uh, now it's like my kids, they just like walk by and they just like, and they hit and they say, I like the sound of the slap. So, okay, enough. I'm on a tangent tonight all the time. All right. Well, on Sunday the 16th, to the point here, we've got three events. Writers Cafe at Markham House, 11:30. Poetry Lounge via Zoom with host Lisa Medley, and that's from 1 to 3. And then we start the San Jose Poetry Festival 2026, the 12th annual, with the San Jose Poetry Slam. And that's featuring Reggie Edmonds Vasquez, and it's at 6:30 Wheelhouse, Willow Glen. Now we've got Markham House Library open hours with Barry Endick. He will scare you around 1 p.m. with a poem. And that's Wednesday the 19th. He's not going to scare you. I just want to change it up here a little bit. Okay, and because Barry is a really nice guy. He's got a lot of interesting stories about Edwin Markham. Like a Liberty ship was named after Edwin Markham. I didn't know that. So he's got a lot of interesting info. Then there's Third Thursday open mic featuring the Santa Clara County Youth Poet Laureate Kern Sundaram, and he's outgoing. So you want to catch him before he goes out. Yeah, he's not signing out. He'll be in the area, but he's just going to be a busy guy. He's going to school at Stanford. So August 20th, 7 p.m. And then we continue the San Jose Poetry Festival 26. This is starting again Friday, offering with a youth writing workshop featuring Mighty Mike McGee in person at Willow Glen Library. In the house, where are you? Shine, there you go. And Cultura Poetry Night via Zoom featuring Esperanza Cabrales and Arnoldo Colibri. And then we've got Saturday features a reading workshop by California Poet Laureate Lee Herrick, along with Solange Aguilar and Brandon Liu. Brandon Liu in the house, rise and shine. There you go. And then Youth Poet Laureate commencement ceremony. That's going to be, of course, with current and then the incoming Poet Laureate. Then Beautiful Black Books, bringing Black poets from the U.S. on Zoom. Palabras and Poetry Zapatista Principles Writing Workshop. That's also with Elizabeth Jimenez Montalongo. And then Poets of Resistance featuring, boy, this is a lot. Jen Siraganian, Farnaz Fatemi, and others. And that's Saturday. Then Sunday, we've got, again, the Small Press Fair and open mic. And there'll be a guy in the corner cooking corn and other stuff. That's me. If you want, like, human flesh, we'll have that too. I hope not. That'll be me with a little bit of ketchup. And concluding the festival, Poets of Poetry Slam featuring Scorpiona Excellent, Joseph Jason Santiago Lacoeur, and Los Angeles poet laureate Brian Sonia Wallace. Okay. So that's going to be in front of Markham House, History Park, and we'll have signage, or you just follow the smoke. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I kind of like that idea. It's the food smell and bring you all together. All right. So we'll see about this barbecue thing. Okay. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. So, sorry. Come again. Okay. And thanks, guys. And then thanks also to all of you who submitted to Sejura and also to Red Wheelbarrow here in the house, and then also out there in Zoomlandia. Much appreciate all that support, and great to see the enthusiasm. And so if you want more details, visit pcsj.org. Most of these events this year are free, except for the workshop with Lee Herrick. All right, so there you go. Now to introduce our featured guest. All right. Well, oh, thank you, Joe. Let's do it over again. You know, I went to the store to get this food, and this thing that I grew, which comes back, I shave it and it comes back. Then the slave said, "Thank you, sir. Used to be bro or dude or something like that. Right now it's sir." It's like, huh? Champ, thanks, champ. Yeah, not anymore now. Now I'm sir, which means I'm old. Like, okay. Thanks, Joe. Now, open mic for those in Zoom land. Text chat Joe. He will get you in after Lorenz. First up and on deck. So first up is Mike, but on deck, which is after Mike, Janine UC. Please give a warm welcome to the mic, Mighty Mike McGee.
Thanks, Rob. I wanna see myself on Zoom. I want to see myself on Zoom. Whoa. Do it again. There I am. Oh. Dang, that worked. Go figure. Hello everyone. I was in the state of Washington and a state of joy this past week. And I'm not mad about it, you know. I'm gonna do an oldie but a goodie. I wanted to in case the mood wasn't light, I wanted to lighten it. I wanted to put the mood on a diet and get it lighter. Here we go. This is called Who's Counting? 1. I've heard a lot of poems that begin with the number 1, then continue in a numbered sequence. I wonder if there's a name for poems such as these. 2. My intrigue has set me to write at least one poem in this numbered structure. 3. I feel I should find out more about this numbered structure. 4. I asked my friend Dave K. Ali'i if he knows the name of this sort of sequenced poetry. 5. He does not. 6. I sent a text message to Victor Infante, a friend and most notable culprit of this style of poetry. He responds with, I don't know offhand, but I will research it when I get home. 7. I assume he's driving. I feel let down by his unknowing. I worry about his ability to drive safely while sending me a text message and while also being unaware of things in life. This is not the first time he's let me down. Once, I asked to borrow $40, and he only had $36 in cash, so he had to PayPal me the other $4. It took forever. 8. Victor calls and explains that there is some contention in the literary world as to the true name of this style of poetry, but all agree that the sections between the numbers are cantos. 9. This is a canto. 10. So is this. 11. Ezra Pound is notable for writing a long love poem consisting of 120 cantos and for being an asshole. 12. It feels like way too many cantos. 13. The style of poetry often feels like an easy way to tie together a bunch of unrelated topics. 14. I am not as interested in this poetic structure anymore. I would rather my poetry had a consistent theme and maintained the original sentiment, yet allowed it to grow beyond the first verse, to express myself while seeking resolve, solution, and/or catharsis. It is too easy to veer away from the initial concept of the poem. 15. It saddens me when pet owners put sweaters and hats on their pets. 16. I cannot break dance, and I have to accept the fact that I never will. 17. I should never write one of these poems again since I don't know how to end it. 18. Weird cursing for no reason is hilarious to me, but probably not a good way to end a poem, especially if it ends awkwardly and abruptly. 19. Shit lips and short boners.
Shitless and boners. Thank you, Mike. Love it. Now we've got that appetite. On deck, Taran. But now, please welcome to the mic, Janine UC.
As a child, taught not to be proud, not to be needy, not to want what I saw on the TV. Children my age so carefree, not responsible like me. Give me more Dr. Seuss, less Mother Goose. I drink my favorite apple juice. Pledge to the flag with my hand on my heart, son. Every one of us prepared for martyrdom. Homophones not allowed when speaking aloud. Much too confusing, not so amusing. I adore alliteration, clever communication. So many possibilities, I make computations. I want it intersectional, multidimensional. I refuse to go through the usual channel. Flow like the breeze into your ear canal. All letters make up words, many words make up a letter. I put them together so they fit better. Text or telephone, oh gosh, okay. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Oh, it's time to write home, text or telephone. Tell them that you met me and heard this poem.
Thank you, Janine. On deck is Donna, but now please welcome Taran.
First of all, good evening, everybody. This is my first time here in this spot. I did once on the other side. It feels, I was telling Lorenz that I didn't know the same address existed for Chopstick Alley and this spot, but anyhow, that's what happens in life. You find the places without names and sometimes without address. I'm going to do a poem. How much minute I have? 2 minutes? 3 minutes? Okay. The poem is called Rebel Violet's Plume. It is from my new book that is out. It's called Lotus Hue. And rebel is a big symbol in my faith, which is called Sikhism. In Sikhi, rebel means that you are always going to stand up, that you are never going to be cowed down, right? That you will always have a voice, and that you will never go down without a voice. And especially in the age and space we live, being a rebel means a lot to me, but also for the book. Rebel Violet's Plume. I need hunger and earn to announce my freedom. To burn in isolation, to outrun grip, I must learn how to bend hardened steel. Sip the final exit, seize open breath, and from hell, climb up. Attune your ears by planting your feet solid. Trust my third as I learn to seek. Pull out your damn guts and speak to yourself. What comes out is a name for us all. You give me an arm, you stone me. If I bleed white, hang me. with no face cover. Unjust brass, baton, and barrels will have their day. We all bleed the same. When you bury me, bring a feastful of free soil. Fold it next to my heart. Cover me with clay. Keep me unmarked till violet petals bloom. Thank you.
Thank you, Taran. On deck is Lorenz, but now please give it up for Donna.
There was a time when I was living in a hotel and the song Chandelier by Sia meant a lot to me. So I'm going to just read the lyrics to that song. Party girls don't get hurt. Can't feel anything. When will I learn? I push it down. Push it down. I'm the one for a good time call. Phones blowing up. Ringing my doorbell. I feel the love. Feel the love. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Drink. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Drink. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Drink. That's it.
Thank you, Donna. On deck is Brandon Liu, but now please welcome to the mic, Lorenz.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So this is about one of the viral bears that are going around. If you ever pay attention to like online right now, there's like a polar bear in Japan that loves cones. So this is for him. So yeah. For Momota. Mom took away my portal today. There I was, speeding through the galaxy, avoiding meteors and black holes, watching stars passing my window as I zoomed through space. And I got ready to fight against a horde of space monsters, only to have my mom rip off my helmet and mid-mission sending me back to the zoo. I tried to get my helmet back in front, but she threw it far away and warned me not to chase after it. I tried to throw a fashion show for Mom yesterday, saw the perfect cone to wear. I wanted to be the flower she said she once saw. Mom would smile when she talked about it. Thought if I could dress as something that brought her joy, maybe she would understand mine. Look, Mom, I am a flower. I swear, her face lighted up for a moment, but followed quickly with, Momota, can you quit with your silliness? She took the cone off my head and tossed it aside. I did not blame Mom always being mad at me. She talked about Granny and how she was never happy. How Granny used to always talk about enormous glaciers, talk about walking through different forests and encountering different animals from land, sea, and sky. When they caught Granny, she always felt trapped. A world that once felt vast all of a sudden became a room with walls, with barriers, with limitations. Granny never wanted my mom. How raising her in a space so small felt wrong. Dad had take my mom away from Granny when she tried to kill her. My mom only knows these walls and learned to be content with them. She calls me her world. I do not know what that means, but it makes her smile. She does not always take away the cones. Sometimes she will watch me even though she pretends not to notice when I play. I catch her smiling and I wish sometimes she would just join me. She will not, though. When the world is always watching you, it can feel like your joy is never only your joy. When the lights are off, when there are no people around, Mom calls me over. I curl next to her. She smells me, and her nose touches mine with so much care. Momota, where did you adventure to today? I would tell her as I snuggle close to her. I fall asleep, never getting to share everything. Sometimes I open my eyes briefly in the night and I see my mom smiling, staring at me. Then I go back to sleep, dreaming of the next cone awaiting for me.
Thank you, Lorenz. Now, please welcome Brandon Liu.
This one's short, so I'll read it twice. Thank you. I barely said a sentence. Frozen strawberries stuck to the cake, left much too long in the freezer. Taste too much like ice and bits of frost. Crusted like white fur. Crumble stiff when pried at, and leaves nothing but questions about forgotten dates. Again. Frozen strawberries stuck to the cake, left much too long in the freezer, taste too much like ice and bits of frost, crusted like white fur, crumble stiff when pried at, and leaves nothing but questions about forgotten dates. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. I'll finish with the open mic with this quick poem. It's titled First Day of School. All right. 7 a.m. Our city shrouded in wildfire smoke. My son has yet to leave for school. His first class, U.S. history. He eats cereal while watching videos about a turtle named Hope, an albino pink belly side neck, her exposed heart, size of a tiny pea, beats almost outside of her plastron. He corrects me. You can't cover the heart. It increases the risk of infection. Better to see it and follow it daily. We see each other less because of work, exams, his need for space to be. I lean in a little to hold this moment closer. Scent of his hair. Manuka honey, Mafura oil. We watch her dive for something, And like that, he's out the door, only briefly returning to remind me, hey, mind the spider web along the path. All right. Ah. All right. Just don't get me to public office, please. Eric Victorino. Wow. These, I'm going to just start it off first with this. These are honest, very deep dives into harrowing experiences. Is Amy here? Yeah, Amy, thank you. Yeah. Direct, no candy bonbon language here. No hiding behind decorative metaphors. Eloquent, nevertheless. All right. This is an intimate conversation with you, with us. Also with some wit, whimsy, and yes, slivers of hope. Many of you already know Eric, but for those in Zoom and on YouTube, Eric Victorino is a writer, musician, storyteller whose work explores memory, identity, grief, love, and the quiet ways people survive. Whether on the page or stage, his writing balances emotional honesty with vivid imagery, finding moments of beauty in places where others might only see darkness. Best known as the vocalist and lyricist for the rock band Strata and the electronic duo The Limousines, Victorino has spent more than 2 decades writing songs that have reached audiences around the world. His lyrical voice has always blurred the line between poetry and music, carrying the same fascination with vulnerability, longing, and resilience that defines his written work. Please now welcome to the mic, Eric Victorino.
So what is it? Shit lips and short dicks, Mike? Is that what it was? Boners. Boners. I brought copies of 2 different books that I put out. One that came out in 2005, one that came out in 2011. The 2 people who wrote those books, because I consider them to be separate people. One who started off on this journey of like expression and entertainment, and the other 6 years later, beaten down by self-doubt, beaten down by a search for validation that really didn't exist. People clapping for you is not real validation. Depressed to the point of being hospitalized. Really, really depressing shit. Looking back at it, I haven't done one of these readings. I haven't done anything related to my writing in years. So I was sitting on the couch, looking through the books, trying to figure out what to read to you folks, and none of it felt like it came from me. So who's this third person? There's book 1, hopeful guy, book 2, super depressed person, and book 3, which probably will never be written, but is the person standing before you right now, the person who I'm experiencing happiness and fulfillment and validation I thought was reserved for other people. All this time, I thought I could never. I won't make it to 30. I won't make it to 35. I won't make it to 40, 45. I'll be 50 in a year and a half, and I'm happier and more fulfilled than I thought possible. I was dropping my kid off for her first day of kindergarten yesterday. And I watched her go and start a life without me, start something that wasn't centered around her life at home and her parents, but she walked into the school, she started making friends, and she started a life that wasn't mine and wasn't fully dependent on me. And all of a sudden, the validation that I had always hoped for, that I finally had, I felt like maybe it's going to slip away. It won't slip away if I make things. It won't slip away if I find a way to be creative. It won't slip away if I urge people to resist using AI and generative art. If I find a purpose. Of course, being a dad, doing good at work, being an artist, those are all purposes, but watching her walk away, watching her immediately start to make friends, and watching her just step into her life, I started feeling sad. And then my son in the back, a year and a half old, says, "Dada." So now I know I got 3 more years before I got to get my shit together. This version of the book, there's only like 3 copies in the world now, because this was the super depressing version that I wrote. And then I rewrote everything to spin it in a positive way and re-released that under a slightly different title. But in that, I was almost kind of trying to save my own life by being positive, whether it was genuine or not. Please keep loving me. When the thought of losing what we are feels like death's cold breath on the backs of our necks. When we are lumps in throats and when we are butterflies in stomachs, please keep loving me. When it does not come so naturally. When it is not easy, when it feels more like work than like play, please keep loving me. Please keep loving me when, through my blind carelessness or my dishonesty, I scratch open our old wounds. And when our wild animal hearts begin to tug at their chains, cursing everything that holds them home, please keep loving me. When your eye wanders more often than it watches over me, and when your body lusts for new adventures, love me. If ever the shadow you cast colors the darker shade, the pillows, the blankets, the body of another lying in a place that feels more like the scene of a terrible crime than like a home, even then, especially then, please keep loving me. And when our old faults are far behind us, let's laugh at the day we're living and happily go where it takes us. Let's hold the brightest of hopes for tomorrow and the day after that. Love me. When we make copies of ourselves and spend decades mixing in the best ingredients we have to offer up. Through all of that, as challenging as it will be, please keep loving me. One day, those children will move away and search for love like what their parents had. And we will make our circle small again. In times when our perfect harmony is the envy of all of our friends, of course, please keep loving me, but love me just as well when that perfect harmony is really nothing more than a mirage our friends see from their desolate perspective. When I'm the boat and you're the sea, I want to be a wave or the wind or the shore. But we can't help what we are, and for a short time, we may refuse to flow together. Please keep loving me while we wait for calmer weather and the safety of low tide. And in those last years, when what's left of old tattoos and fading blue blotches are joined by brown spots of age marking our crinkled see-through skin, please keep loving me. When the house we bought with the money we earned from selling off our youthful years starts to fall apart, when the paint chips and the pipes leak, when our floorboards and our walls give way to wind and our hallways creak and shiver, when the roof begins to let in rain, when our love pushes up with the same strength as gravity, it will be what holds that old house together. When even more years have escaped us and our sons and daughters come home for the holidays and they bring us pamphlets from rest homes, hoping to coax us from the only comfort we know. Let's both try to remember they mean only the best for us. Love me when they've taken us away to make new friends at card tables, roll around in chair parades, shuffle on canes, to wait out the twilight in buffet lines. And when we've settled in and start to rust up and die of natural causes, love me as you watch me being scooped up off the floor by a well-trained staff of strangers. Before, during, and after all of this, love me and I will love you. When our sight begins to fail us as we're coming to the end, I hope we can still clearly see the reasons we spent the only lives we had together. When all of this truth comes to be, please, please keep loving me. The view from the top of Shit Mountain. I fucked my way to the top of a mountain made of shit. And what did it get me? Nothing but lightheaded from the thin air, heavy-hearted with the weight of regret. No such thing as friends, just a short list of who hates me less. They are just strangers with better things to do than to be needed by somebody like me. Yeah. That was the headspace I used to be in, and when I read that now, it's like a fucking stranger wrote it. And when I was thinking about today, I was thinking like, I don't know who's gonna be here. I don't know if it's gonna be kids, if it's gonna be adults, people just getting into being creative, maybe for a living, or just being creative as a passionate thing. But I wanted to let everybody know who is creative, this is the time to make things. And rooms like this matter a lot. Rooms where people are just here to share themselves. It's so rare. And maybe you come here every week. I haven't been to something like this in a long, long time. So to watch everyone express themselves in front of other people with no drums, no guitars, no bass behind them, it takes big fucking balls. And I appreciate you guys, everybody. Remember that day they found a human hand dead in a plastic bag behind that Chinese restaurant? I was skateboarding with some friends and we heard the news. We all got down there as fast as we could, but we didn't make it in time. The cops had already shown up, and the fire department and some other men were taking pictures and samples and swabbing fluids and all that stuff. None of us managed to get a glimpse of the hand. 3 days later, a friend of mine was smoking some dope out there where they found the hand. He passed out on the ground beside a garbage and recycling bin, and when his eyes opened again, he saw an old shoebox tucked beneath a big green dumpster. He got down as flat as he could and he stretched his arm way in there, but he could not reach the box. He looked around for a stick or a pole or anything he could shove through the space under the bin, but there was nothing. He decided to push the dumpster in hopes of making a big enough space between the wall and the bin that he could scoot himself in. Well, it took a few minutes of sweaty effort, but he got in there and he managed to kick the box out from under the trash bin. He could not wait to see what was in there. At the very least, he figured it's a brand new pair of shoes or maybe somebody's blood money stash or drugs or jewelry, or at least a good box to keep his random shit in. But it was a breast in the box. A woman's breast with a big brown nipple, chopped off and starting to rot in a big sandwich bag. Someone had used black electrical tape to seal it up tight, and then they stuffed it into the shoebox and left it there with the garbage. That thing was part of a person, a part that felt it when it was touched and sucked and squeezed, and then it was just a thing, just an object. And the world will never know why, but this friend of mine who took the severed tit in the shoebox to his house, where he lived with his mom and his dad and his 2 sisters. And he put the box under his bed where it stayed for almost a week. Maybe he just wanted to see what it would look like after a few more days of decaying. Maybe he had plans to put it back where he found it and report it to the authorities. He used to do similar things with dead cats and dogs. I'm sure he had relatively innocent intentions, otherwise, I doubt he would have told us that there was a dead tit rotting under his bed. We never got the chance to find out why he took that box home because a few days after he found it, he got flattened by a bread truck while he was riding his scooter to work. So now, we knew this terrible secret, and if we didn't do anything, our dead friend was sure to become a nasty local legend. We all came up with a plan to sneak into his bedroom during the funeral after party his family was holding at their home in hopes of stealing the shoebox and anonymously dropping it off at an emergency room or a church or a police station because we couldn't bear the thought of his family discovering that thing. I spotted his mother by the window with an empty box of tissues in her hand. I threw back a glass of bad red wine, poured another, drank it too, and then stuffed a few napkins from the table into the breast pocket of my suit. It took me 1,000 years to cross the room. And when I got within a few steps of her, I took the napkins from my pocket and I held them out to her. He really was one of a kind, she said. I know he was. I'm so sorry. I'm sure he's in a better place now, I told her. And she said, there's no sense in lying to ourselves about going anywhere better or worse than this rotten world after living all these rotten fucking years. And she blew her nose into the napkins and let out a huge, sorrowful sigh. Then she apologized. It's just been so hard for me, you know? Tragedy, I said. It really was a tragedy that he was taken from us. I was thinking about how sad it was that this was an important part of the grief process, but I wasn't really able to live honestly in that moment because there was somewhere else entirely. I was somewhere else entirely waiting for the right time to bring up the subject of going upstairs to her son's room. I cleared my throat and I cut to the chase. There are some clothes and a bunch of CDs that belong to me. I loaned to him. They're up in his room. I know exactly where they are. Do you think I could? Yes, yes, of course, she said, and her eyes pointed up the stairs. She nodded her head and said, it's the first door on the left once you get up the stairs. I smiled at her and told her I knew where his room was and thanks, and that I would be right back down in just a minute. Both of his sisters were sitting on the stairs holding each other and crying. I stopped to say I was sorry and that he was surely in a better place now. They both smiled at me through their glassy, bloodshot eyes and nodded their heads, sniffing the strings of snot from their lips and back up their noses. I hugged the girls and then I continued up the stairs to the first door on the left. And I was surprised to see how tidy his room was. The few times I'd ever been in his room, it smelled like shit and there were plastic trays from microwave macaroni stacked up in columns atop every horizontal surface. His mother must have cleaned up. I ducked down to look under the bed and lifted the blankets from the edge and peered into the dark, but I could not see a shoebox or anything, not even dust balls or crusty masturbation socks. Nothing. Nothing but Mom's feet now. Oh, fuck. She was standing in the doorway with both hands covering her mouth, her voice muffled through her fingers like she was in another room, but she was standing right there. And she squeaked, what did... She couldn't get a sentence out, and I was pushing my way by her and leaping down the stairs. I left her standing in the doorway, still trying to get the words out. The question she needed more than anything to ask. Somehow she had to understand, and she was screaming, you know why? Tell me. Why did he have... And then the wailing started up, a nightmare sound that will live in a cave in the back of my mind until the day I die. And people in the living room wiping tears and trying to mourn, they all watched me fly out the front door and bound across the lawn as I disappeared into the neighborhood. I swear I had the happy book, but I don't. One thing I do want to say, I don't know how much time I have, but I was planning on selling books, and I think Robert was going to pay me to be here, which I find ridiculous. So any books that I sell this evening just goes back to this establishment, all the money. I know it won't be much, but if you want to donate $10 to the Poetry Center, grab a book and let me figure out something that's not super sad and shitty. When I would be on tour with my bands, I would bring books to sell along because your live show is a commercial for your t-shirts. Everyone knows it, right? Play a good show. Hopefully you'll get gas money from the shirts. I'd bring the books and people would buy the books, and it would sort of create this completely different relationship with fans of the bands. Like they liked the lyrics, they liked the music, but then they'd get into these things, and the number of people across the world who have tattoos of the titles of these poems. And like I said, when I was looking through it on the couch trying to figure out what to read to you, I was like, I didn't do this. You know, that was 2 people ago. It's hard to accept credit if you've made something that has affected somebody and then you no longer identify with it. Or I burned the last box of my books that I had of the happy one. I had a few copies I was going to bring, but here I am taming tigers. I had to learn to love myself in order to survive, because the feelings I had most of the time were not built to last. This dreamer will self-destruct in 5, 4, 3. Short fuse lit, not much time. It's against my nature to be positive. I do know that about myself. It's not always easy to smile. I take those deep breaths and they come out used up, beaten down, long sorry sighs. Me, broken, beat up, and defeated. Like this, I'm no fun to be around, that's for sure. So I slip up here and there, letting all the negatives get the best of me, but I'm trying. I can say that much, at least I'm trying. That's better. That's a start. Fade in to roaring applause. And there I am again, fighting. And I'm pushing the tiger back with a whip in one hand and a chair in the other. But it's a start. Thank you. I do have one. Well, again, this is like choosing someone else's work to read. What doing this today makes me feel is that I have more to write, and I hope that you guys do too. I haven't written anything with the intention of releasing it to the world or even posting it on a website or anything, because I've felt like the permanence of putting something on paper and selling it, it means that your deepest, darkest thoughts, if you're being honest and you're just writing what you actually believe, is a vulnerability that doesn't exist anywhere else. Like there are things I say in both of these books that, like the story I told about the human tit in a shoebox, complete fiction. But then there are stories that are just as awful that are not fiction. And the book's labeled fiction and literature because I don't necessarily want people to know what's what. So that's hard to get back into, that idea that I could write down my current deepest, darkest thoughts and my daughter will read them in 10 years. So I applaud everyone who's creating, and I urge you to continue to create and fight the same fight I'm having where, sometimes it doesn't feel worth it. But if you get something from it, that's really what it's for. Whether you share it or not, just write your feelings and connect with that unexplainable part of yourself. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Eric. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you, Joe.
Hey, thanks everybody. Thanks for thanks to Amy for introducing us to this poet. Yeah, thanks there. Yeah. That was pretty fantastic. As I said, and just thanks to everybody who supports us. As I said, like we rent this room, but everything else, including the table there, and this microphone stand and this light and all these things, this iPad and this little stand that the iPad is on. We've purchased all those things just to do like this, you know, and Poetry Center pays these poets, and Works treats Rob like, because he is one of our guest curators, and so support us both, you know, Poetry Center and Works, and we'll keep on doing this. We'll keep on doing it anyway, but it's good to do it. It's good to do it if it's funded, you know, like, yeah. All right. Thanks so much for coming out. Right tomorrow night, right here. Oh my God. We'll see if we can solve the move. They hated the movement, so we'll see if we can solve the movement. I don't know. All right.